The cry from the locked room. No one had entered room 313 for years. The door stayed locked, sealed with a rusted latch and thick layers of dust, like the house itself was trying to forget what lay behind it. The landlord never spoke about it. The neighbors avoided even looking at that end of the corridor. And yet, every night at exactly 3:17 a.m., a sound echoed through the walls. A cry. Not loud, not clear, but desperate, like someone begging from the bottom of a well. I had just moved into the building, cheap rent, old structure, and too many unanswered questions. On my first night, I thought the sound was a dream. A faint sob that crawled into my sleep and wrapped around my chest. But the second night, I was awake. 3:17 a.m. The cry came again. It wasn't a scream. It was worse. A broken, shaking voice whispering through the walls, crying as if it had been doing so for a very long time. I pressed my ear against the cold wall. My heart pounded. The sound came from room 313. I knocked on the landlord's door the next morning. His face turned pale when I mentioned the crying. "That room is locked," he said sharply. "No one lives there." "Then who is crying?" I asked. He stared at me for a long moment, then whispered, "Some doors stay closed for a reason." That night, I couldn't sleep. At 3:17 a.m., the crying returned, but this time, it said my name. I froze. My breath caught in my throat as the voice trembled through the wall, soft and broken, repeating my name again and again, like it had been waiting for me. I grabbed my phone and recorded it. But when I played it back, there was only silence. No cry, no voice, nothing. The next day, I found an old woman sitting near the stairs. Her eyes followed me as I passed. When I told her about the locked room, her hands began to shake. "They locked her inside," she whispered. "They said she was sick, possessed, dangerous." "Who?" I asked. "A girl," she said. "She cried for days. When the crying stopped, they thought she was dead." My blood ran cold. That night, the crying was louder. The door to room 313 stood at the end of the corridor, its lock untouched, its handle unmoved. Yet the sound came from inside, hands pounding, nails scratching, a voice choking on tears. "Please, open the door." I didn't remember walking toward it, but suddenly I was standing right in front of the door. The crying stopped. Then I heard breathing. Slow. Close. Right behind the door. The handle began to turn. I screamed and ran back to my room, slamming the door shut. The crying turned into laughter, low, broken laughter that echoed through the building. The next morning, room 313 was gone. The door had vanished, replaced by a solid wall. When I confronted the landlord, he looked confused. "There's never been a room 313, he said. That night, at 3:17 a.m., the crying came from inside my room. I turned slowly toward my locked door. The handle was turning, and someone was crying, with my voice. I didn't open my eyes. The crying was so close that I could feel it on my skin, like cold breath brushing against my face. My door was still locked. I knew it was, but the handle kept turning slowly, patiently, as if whatever was outside already knew it would get in. 3:17 a.m. The crying stopped. Silence rushed into the room, thick and heavy. I opened my eyes just a little. The handle was no longer moving. My door stood still, innocent, untouched. But the crying didn't disappear. It moved. The sound came from behind me. I turned slowly toward the corner of my room. The darkness there felt wrong, deeper than the rest of the shadows, bending unnaturally. And then I saw her. A girl sat curled against the wall, her knees pulled to her chest. Her hair covered her face, wet and tangled, dripping onto the floor even though there was no water in the room. Her shoulders shook as she cried softly. My heart slammed against my ribs. I didn't open the door, I whispered. Her head lifted. When she looked at me, I saw my own face staring back. Same eyes, same mouth, but twisted with grief, skin pale like it had never seen sunlight. Her lips trembled as she spoke. "You did," she said. "You listened." The lights flickered violently. The air grew colder. The walls groaned, as if the building itself was breathing. She stood up. Each step she took toward me left dark footprints on the floor, as if she had walked through something that refused to dry. I backed away until my spine hit the bed. "They locked me away," she said, her voice overlapping with mine. "They said if no one heard me, I would fade." "What do you want?" I asked, tears burning my eyes. She smiled slowly. I want my room back. Suddenly, the walls began to shift. Paint peeled away like skin. The familiar shape of my bedroom twisted, stretching, narrowing, until the air felt trapped. A number appeared on the wall in dark stains. 313. My door slammed shut. A lock clicked from the outside. I pounded on the door, screaming for help, but the sound came out as a weak sob. My voice wasn't mine anymore, it was hers. From the other side of the door, I heard footsteps walking away, calmly. Then I heard someone lie down on my bed. I looked back. She was already there, wearing my clothes, holding my phone, smiling softly at the wall. "Don't worry," she said, locking the door from the outside. "Someone will hear you. Eventually." The light turned off. The room went dark. At exactly 3:17 a.m., I began to cry. And somewhere down the corridor, someone new stopped walking, and listened. Time didn't move inside room 313. I don't know how long I cried. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like years. My throat burned, my voice cracked, yet the sound never stopped escaping my mouth. The room fed on it. Every sob made the walls breathe, expanding and shrinking like lungs. Then I heard footsteps. Not running, not hurried. Someone was walking slowly down the corridor. Hope stabbed into my chest like a knife. I rushed to the door, pressing my face against the cold wood. "Help me," I begged. "Please, open the door." The footsteps stopped. Silence. Then a voice whispered from the other side, trembling with fear, the same fear I once had. "Who's there?" I froze. It was my voice, but younger, softer. "I hear someone crying," the voice continued. From a locked room. The realization hit me like a wave of ice. The room wasn't just a prison. It was a cycle. I pounded on the door harder. "Don't listen. Don't come closer." But the room twisted my words. What escaped my mouth was no warning, only desperate sobbing. The hallway swallowed my screams and reshaped them into bait. A key rattled in the lock. The door opened slightly. Light spilled inside for the first time since I'd been trapped. I saw him, me, standing there, eyes wide with curiosity and fear, exactly how I had looked on my first night. Behind him, the girl watched from the shadows, smiling. "She needs help," the younger me whispered. "No," I screamed. "She needs silence." But it was too late. The girl placed her hand on his shoulder. Her fingers sank into his skin like smoke. His body stiffened. His eyes turned hollow. The door slammed shut. Darkness returned. The crying stopped. For a moment, I thought it was over. Then the room began to change again. The walls peeled back, revealing layers beneath, scratches, names carved deep into the surface, hundreds of them. Some were fresh. Some were old. All written by people who had cried in this room. I found my name among them. And beneath it, today's date. A whisper filled the darkness, no longer sad, now satisfied. "You're free," the voice said. The door unlocked. I stepped into the corridor, my legs shaking. The building looked normal again. Quiet. Empty. As I walked away, a faint sound followed me. A soft cry. From behind a door that had just been locked. At exactly 3:17 a.m. And this time, I didn't stop to listen.